let's do this right now. And this will be our Fast Five question. Xfinity Fast Five question. Who's the most overrated Dallas Cowboy? Who's the most overrated Dallas Cowboy? 888-957-9570, excuse me. 888-957-9570. Who's the most overrated Cowboy? That'll be our Xfinity Fast Five question of the day. Spadoni, hit the music. Let's get into it right now. Joseph Shasky III, a.k.a. the Butcher Boy.
I'm doing this tongue-in-cheek, by the way.
Yeah,
I want you to know that because I do respect this guy, and I love him more as a broadcaster.
Top five.
But
top five. We're doing top five.
I'm not doing five. I'm doing one. This is my number one.
Doing one.
This is my power rank number one.
Oh.
Steiny, if you're listening. Power rank number one. Number one most overrated Cowboy of all time. It's not even close. Number 8, Troy Aikman.
Oh, stop.
Let me go here. No, let me do my thing here, all right?
Oh, man.
I wanted you to hear these touchdowns every single year. 9, 11, 11, 23, his only 20-plus touchdown season. 15, 13, 16, 12, 19, 12, 17, 7. This man threw for 19 or more touchdowns twice in his entire career. Threw for over 3,300 yards one time. Everything else, right around $3,000. He had the greatest running back statistically in the history of the game with the greatest offensive line. I already referenced up the 10,000 yards over an 8-year period that Michael Irvin had. He was like the 5th most important player on his own offense. Now, should he be in the Hall of Fame? When you win 3 Super Bowls as a starting quarterback, yeah, you probably should be in. But let me give you some of his career stats. 58th all-time in passer rating. 73rd at the time, most touchdown passes. 38th all-time in passing.
Hall of Famer.
85th in yards per attempt.
Hall of Famer.
57th in yards per game. 61st in fourth quarter comebacks.
How about his playoff record?
I don't care about his playoff record.
11-4.
Not one.
11-4.
Not one signature game in the Troy Aikman archives. Point it out. I'll wait.
The Niners 92 game.
That was the Alvin Harper game.
Yeah, he threw the ball, though.
Oh,
he
on
had
a
to throw
slant.
the ball to him.
I could have handed the ball to Alvin Harper for an 80-yard run.
52-17 Super Bowl where he threw all those touchdown passes.
Come on. Not one signature moment.
Come on.
Give me his signature moment.
That was his signature
moment.
moment.
No, it was not.
That what?
That was Alvin Harper's moment.
Oh, come
Alvin, hands up, celebrating at the 8-yard line, even though they hadn't even.
What about the Rose Bowl?
The Rose Bowl. The college. We're going to college? Vince Young online too?
No, I'm saying the Super Bowl at the Rose Bowl. Buffalo Bills when they dropped 52 on them.
That's more known for Leon Lett and his thing than it is Troy Aikman.
Oh, come on.
And Michael Irvin telling Alvin Harper, that's my touchdown. You stole my touchdown.
Stop.
Most overrated Cowboy of all time. He's great, but he ain't that great.
Oh, stop.
He's like the 4th quarterback I take in his own era.
22 of 30, 273 yards, 4 touchdowns in that Super Bowl against the Buffalo Bills. Super Bowl MVP. Signature moments. I'll tell you right now. Well, all right, I'm going my top 5 because I can't stand the Cowboys.
Larry Allen, Emmett Smith, Michael Irvin, Jay Novacek, Moose Johnson, Nate Newton. I'll take all of them before I even select Troy Aikman.
Let me get it here. All right.
Most overrated Cowboy.
5.
Number 5.
Number 5. Overrated Cowboy of all time. I don't care what Drew Pearson says. It's Danny White. It's Danny White, the guy who was supposed to replace Roger Staubach, couldn't get the Cowboys over the hump, signified the Cowboys' downfall in the 80s. Number 5, it is Dana freaking White. That is number 5. Number 4.
Well, I like him also because he was a punter.
All right, number 4.
He did the pooch punts in the NFC Championship game.
Number 4, overrated Cowboy.
All right, number 4.
Ezekiel Elliott.
Oh!
Number 4.
So overrated, it's not even funny. This guy can't move. 13 carries, 27 yards last week. Again, the more carries the Cowboys give to Ezekiel Elliott, the better it is for the 49ers. The better it is for him. Ezekiel Elliott, number 4. All right,
Danny White, by the way, going to be on with Dibbs and Larry, not Willard. Where's Willard?
Oh, I don't know. Well, you can tell Danny White that he's overrated on my list. Number 3.
Number 3.
Number 3, most overrated Dallas Cowboy of all time. It is the X-Man, Dez Bryant. This guy couldn't stay healthy. He had like 3 years. You throw up the X-Guru. Throw it up all you want to. He was overrated. He ain't no Michael Irvin. He ain't no Drew Pearson. He may not even be CeeDee Lamb. Hell, he ain't even Alvin Harper, who was the fake number 80. Dez Bryant, number 3, most overrated Cowboy of all time.
Was it a catch or not?
It was a catch.
I'm with you.
But you know what? I bet on that game and the Cowboys covered, so I'm not mad. The best of both worlds. Cowboys lost, and I covered.
He's a better tweeter than he was a football player.
There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. All right, number two. Number two. Most overrated Dallas Cowboy of all time. It's not Troy Aikman. Put some respect on Troy Aikman's name as an announcer and as a quarterback, 3-time Super Bowl winner. I feared him when he was a quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. The most overrated, number 2 overrated Cowboy, Tony Romo. Tony Romo won 2 playoff games. All right, Tony Romo
botched a snap.
Won 2 playoff games.
Hold.
Botched a snap. Couldn't get the ball to Diz. Lost his job to Dak. Couldn't get him over the hump. They had the number 1 seed against the New York Giants at home in Texas Stadium, and they couldn't beat the Giants. Romo had to drive for his life to get him to the NFC Championship game, and he choked. Tony Romo, overrated. This ain't fantasy football. It's about winning rings. And you know what? Tony Romo didn't even sniff the NFC Championship game. Number 2 overrated Cowboy all time.
Another guy whose career off the field is better than his career on the field.
No doubt about that. You never lied, Joe. Never lied. Number one. The most overrated Cowboy of all time. It's the guy in the owner's box. It's the guy who thinks he's a big-time businessman.
Right,
he's a guy who's had multiple facelifts, Botox. He don't even look the same. It's Jerry freaking Jones, the most overrated Cowboy of all time. He ain't no Tom Landry. He ain't no Hank Stram. He ain't none of those dudes. None of Take Stram or whatever his name is. Jerry Jones, the most... Tech Stram, I think it was. Hank Stram is the coach of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah. That's matriculate the ball.
Yeah, let's matriculate the football down the field, boys. Yeah, power toss trap. Yeah. Alexander Scott did a really good Hank Stram. I miss Alexander Scott. Number 1, Jerry Jones. Most overrated Cowboys of all time. I cannot stand the Cowboys. That'd be our Xfinity Flex, excuse me, not Flex moment anymore. Xfinity Fast 5. Xfinity Fast 5. Question of the day, who's the most overrated Cowboy? And no, Troy Aikman's not on my list. Jerry Jones. Herschel Walker should be on that list.
Yeah,
he was overrated.
Another guy whose post-career seems like it's going better than his actual career.
You know?
Yikes.
Right?
Yeah, it's been
He doesn't even live in the state that he's like the governor of. It's kind of wild.
You know what's funny, too, about the Cowboys?
The South.
You put any running back behind that offensive line, they could do what Emmett do. They could have done what Emmett did.
Time out.
Emmitt Smith is great. He's a leader.
Tell me you don't hold Emmett in less regard than you do Troy Aikman, because I respect
They go together.
Emmett.
They go together.
What?
They go together.
You don't get 19,000 yards. You don't get 19,000 yards by accident.
I did not like Emmett.
I didn't either, but he was a great player.
Florida Gator.
Remember that year he held out and they lost?
Oh, yeah, they did. He was the most important Cowboy.
I mean, come on, man.
He was. That
O-line was incredible.
I couldn't stand him. Who else is an overrated Cowboy?
And by overrated, we mean like
corner,
like
Miles Austin.
So for
Miles
example,
Austin, that's
Miles
a good
Austin's a good one.
Yeah, very good.
See, like I think people forget and sleep on underrated. I think DeMarcus Ware was an underrated Cowboy.
Yeah. How about who's the wide receiver who used to pop off at the mouth? Was it Patrick Claiborne?
Patrick Claiborne. Wow, you're going way back.
No, he was talking. Wow. They got beat by the Patriots. The Patriots were trying to go undefeated, and they went down to Texas Stadium and they beat the Cowboys. And Patrick Claiborne was like, "Well, we'll see what happens in the Super Bowl when we play them." And they were like, "You guys are going to the Super Bowl?" He goes, "Like I said, if the Patriots make it, we'll see what happens." Like, dude, Patrick, slow down,
What was the show where they had guys try out for the team?
Oh, that Cowboy show. And Michael Irvin was one of the coaches and stuff.
How great was that?
It was awesome.
What was the name of that show? Come on.
Patrick Creighton. Was it Patrick Creighton? Not Claiborne, Patrick Creighton? Gosh.
I do think that their offensive line, I know we gave the nickname to the Washington football team. Mm-hmm. To me, I think that Dallas Cowboy line of the 90s is the best liner. Because I watched old man Larry Allen 1 year or 2 years with the Niners. He's the greatest left guard I've ever seen in my life.
Eric Williams, Nate Newton, that line was
the
nasty.
Greatest offensive line I've ever seen.
Was the name of the show. Sorry. Fourth and long.
Fourth and long.
Long.
Who was the kick returner that won the show?
He made the team, right?
Yeah, he wasn't bad. He wasn't great, but he wasn't bad.
I see a lot of Roy Williams, and the reason why Roy Williams would never, ever be on my list.
The safety or the wide receiver?
The safety.
Because the wide receiver went from Detroit to...
and to Dallas. And he was overrated, too.
Yeah.
Jesse Holly, by the way.
Jesse Holly. By the way, Permian High School, Roy Williams. Roy Williams went to Permian High School, Friday Night Lights. Yeah, he went to Permian. Roy Williams, a lot of people are saying the safety being overrated. I will never, ever slander him. Number one, I remember playing catch with him when I was playing Pop Warner football. And he's from Union City. Played at Logan High School. He's a Bay Area cat. Okay. Roy Williams is slandered free. He's a Bay Area cat. I will give him a pass.
Oklahoma.
I
did like him. He was a good player. I respected him big time.
He was a good Bengal, too.
I just hate the freaking Cowboys.
So our overrated list. Who's the most overrated Dallas Cowboy of all time? Jason Witten on that list?
Jason Witten, still open for a 2-yard check down. Still, right now. By the way, my favorite was when Jason Witten showed up on television with a full head of hair. And everyone was like, wait a minute. I just saw your hair.
My favorite was when John Gruden had him and thrown tight end screens to him when he's 50 years old. That was my favorite part.
He was a Raider.
I forgot he was a Raider.